and welcome to Passion in Action with the Georgia Medical Cannabis Society. And today we have Thunder Walker, Currency Tour. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thank you for asking.
Thank you for coming to interview with us today. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. So how did you get started in the cannabis industry?
You know, it's a long story. I have, from the legacy market, I've had some interactions with cannabis and cannabis use. And moving into the legal market, I was able to help medicate my daughter because she's disabled. She has autism, IQ below 30. She's nonverbal, and we were really looking for something for some solutions for her. And then at the same time, my father was diagnosed with lung cancer and he had dementia. So I was dealing with two different crises at the same time, and just didn't realize that the cannabis was the answer to both.
So with this particular journey, I mean, right now you consider it to be. So how did you get to that?
So, you know, as a mother, you will go to any lengths to create the best life that you possibly can for your child. And so for me, that also meant traveling from Texas, that's originally where I'm from. She got the prescription there through the CUPS program, but it wasn't enough. So I ended up getting contacted by two entrepreneurs. I put them together. I'm an appraiser, and so they wanted me to start their business in Oklahoma. So I ended up helping them get licensed, doing the green zone land and real estate in Oklahoma with the 5 licenses. And I decided at that very moment, you know what, I'm going to do this too, not only for myself, but also for my family. And I decided to get my license, my processing, and also my retail license. And that's really what propelled me into where I am now. But I can't really keep my mouth closed. When I got into this industry, things that made sense to me wasn't what the laws were. And you just saw so much stigma and things like that. And so I'm kind of like a bumblebee. If I don't know that I can't do it, I continue to do it. And so I ended up finding myself becoming influencer of the year for Jack Erica for last year, not even trying to be an influencer, but to try to make change. And I think that that's what people don't realize. If you are an influencer, you are the real person that is making change. And so that was the goal for me, to not only make change in the pediatric market, but also in the veteran market, in the boomer market, because I'm of the age 55. So people that are in my age group, they have a lot of stigma with using cannabis because we grew up during the time of Nancy Reagan. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make so many changes, and I didn't realize all the limitations that were out there. I just went out there and did it. And so that's kind of how I got placed into the influencer.
And that's what happens sometimes. We kind of get catapulted into something. We start off one way, and then once we get into it, we see if there's other needs. And so we kind of push forward and expand ourselves to be able to do other things within the industry. And that is so wonderful. So, but you have the Smoke Currency Tour. So tell us a little bit more about that.
What I realized, I would travel to multiple states, speaking at different conferences and everything. And I was always seeing the same people, right? And when I got back to my particular state, I realized that we weren't communicating. Everybody would do things in the shadow. And it was just weird to me. I'm like, why can't we talk about this plant? Why can't you tell me what you did that worked for your child or your daughter? Why can't we just have a conversation? And I realized that there was limitations on just being able to even speak about cannabis, including on social media. And I thought, this is ridiculous. We got to do something different to change it. Smoke means smoke signals, which means communications. It's not even the smoke that people smoke. People think that I'm talking about smoking a pre-roll. I'm not. I'm literally talking about our original form of communication, which is smoke signals from one tribe to the other. And then, of course, the currency is, where is this money going? This is $1 billion business, but we still have people that are in prison. We still have people that have their children taken away from them. I literally, when I started this process, I ended up with 10 CPS cases just because people saw me advocating for the plant. And so I said, this is ridiculous. Even when you have a CPS case, the first thing that the government wants to do is test the mother or the father to see if they are using cannabis. Like that means I'm a bad mother or a good mother, whether I use cannabis or not. And so I just made a decision to say, I'm going to go out there and communicate, take a green thread, tie all the states together, and let us communicate with each other. This is mostly a Montessori style tour. So there's a lot of tours that are out there, but the Smoke Currency tour is a Montessori style tour, which means I take people behind the scenes of the green curtain. We go to attorneys' offices, banks, testing labs, dispensaries, grows. We talk to nonprofits and advocates. We go up to the Capitol and talk to different senators and congressmen. We just interviewed the coroner of Oklahoma.
Okay.
And so we talk to everyone. And then there's patients. We talk to everyone to find out what their experience is, not for me and not for people that use cannabis, but for people that have the ability to vote and to say yes or no if their state has cannabis as a legal alternative to prescription drugs.
Because you're out there educating people as well. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's something that's totally needed as well. Because of course, we talk about that stigma, and a lot of it is lack of education. And the stigma also stems from things that your parents told you. Because I know that my parents always talked about being smoked the funny cigarettes. So we heard that, throughout our lives. But coming to find out as we get older, we start getting more education around the plant. We find out it has a lot of medicinal purposes too. So
absolutely,
definitely. So, but I just want to tell you, just from being in Georgia for the short time that you've been here, what have you seen, and what would you say would be some changes that you think we could make here?
First of all, I love here. I love Georgia. I love the people, the community. It's right on the budding edge of cannabis, and I love the fact that everybody's going so hard and aggressive. There's only 4 licenses from what I've learned so far that has been handed out from the state. I want to tell the state what they're doing well, and one of the things that you guys are doing well is the fact that you are advocating and you're on the front lines. But I love the fact, as a person that's coming into the state, I can use my personal cannabis card, my medical card, and I can go into the dispensary, sign an affidavit, and say, hey, I brought myself to Georgia, but I also, with me, my pain came, my PTSD came with me. I didn't even have to check it. You can't even check it at the airport. PTSD, just get on the plane with you. Shoulder pain will get on the plane with you. And so I can still use my medicine in the state of Georgia. So I think the state of Georgia did that correctly. But what I would like to see them be able to do is more ways to consume cannabis. Because you can't just fit this in a bottle and say, okay, I want it to be shielded from all the X, Y, and Z's. You have to let this be just like, really to be like alcohol, where people are making a decision on if they want to consume or not. And you need to let it be a community decision where people can talk about it without shaming them.
Yes,
definitely. That's what I like about, I want to compare it to the Special Olympics. We have the regular Olympics, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have the Special Olympics, which my daughter keeps getting trophies in. But let me just say this. When I'm at the Special Olympics, we are cheering just as hard for those children and those adults that are disabled to win that gold medal, just as if we were cheering for the regular Olympics. So this should be the same thing. If you have a person that has an injury or they have a disability, we should be able to not create some type of shadow or stigma for them to be able to heal themselves and feel better. So we should cheer them on just as hard.
Yeah. Giving people that support that they need in using this plan, and not making them feel that they have to hide to use it. They need to be able to, wherever they are, to be able to medicate, just like we would pull out our prescription bottle.
Absolutely.
The same way. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? Thank you so much for sitting down and taking the time with us today. And just good luck on your rest of your tour. Would love for you to come back to Georgia. I'm quite sure that by the time you come back, we can have some changes made, hopefully. But definitely be able to see more. Thank you so much. So tell everybody, how can they find you? How can they get in touch with you?
Well, you know what? I am so grateful to all the people that have been a part of the tour. So you can actually go in and Google Smoke Currency Tour, and you can also find us at smokecurrency.com or on social media. Just look me up. I am Thunder Walker on Instagram and the Thunder Walker Experience on Instagram and the thunderwalkerexperience.com.
Thank you. Compassion in action here at the grand opening of Fettle in Smyrna. Thank you so much for joining us today.